And our fourth contestant, please welcome Andrew Thomas of Sheffield Hallam University. Andrew's going to be talking about Rapidsports, an idea for intelligent design and contemporary manufacture of high-quality composite equipment for use in paddle sport. Andrew, more details.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Andrew and I'm here today to tell you about Rapidsports, a design and composite manufacturing company which aims to make the best bespoke canoeing equipment in the world. Now, currently I'm looking to raise £20,000 in order to develop our working prototype kayak and actually get that on the water. Now, by year 3, I aim to have made and also be selling kayaks, canoes, and also accessories such as paddles and helmets, which will be lighter, faster, and stronger than our competitors, like for like, whilst being competitive in price. Now, our brand new design of kayak footrest will revolutionise the sport. It's currently patent pending, and it has several features which biomechanically enhance performance on the water. And there's actually nothing on the market that's like it. And that, combined with our brand new hull design, will actually prove to be one of the fastest boats in the world in this discipline. Now, as an athlete competing in the Olympic discipline of canoe slalom, I've actually used the best products on the world market for both training and for racing. But actually, a lot more important than that is I'm an experienced multidiscipline coach and also graduate in sports development with coaching. And I've actually had the opportunity to study the relationship between athletes and their equipment and how best to maximise performance from this relationship, meaning that I'm actually very well suited to understanding how the equipment works and how best to modify it to make it better. Now, in Britain, there's about 2,000 athletes ranked to compete in canoe slalom. Approximately half of these will buy a new piece of equipment every year, whether that's a boat or an accessory. In our first year, we aim to take around about 9% of this market, improving that to about 23% by year 3. Now, as soon as possible, I'd like to employ people who can help me in my goal of bringing about a 3-stage development plan, which is in our first year to develop our canoe slalom range, in our second year develop our freestyle and creeking range, other disciplines, and in our third year to do a polo range and also our accessories. And in order to do that, I need to surround myself with the right people at the right time. Now, ultimately, we want to have a medal-winning product, a top-of-the-range product. We might have missed the London Olympic Games, unfortunately, but watch out for Rio. Thank you.
Okay. Andrew, well done. Emma, do you want to lead off?
Yeah, I've got a question for you about the people who make up your team at the moment. You are clearly incredibly well qualified on the products and great background on that. What makes me nervous is the commercial aspect, and I know you said I want to surround myself, but I didn't get any clarity on how you would sell, whether that would be through retail outlets, whether that would be online, and whether you need more commercial acumen in the team.
Okay. Well, in the business plan it mentions Scott Bradley. In terms of marketing, he is one of the top coaches in Britain. He is a coach's coach. He coaches the Olympic athletes' coaches. Alongside, you mentioned marketing. A lot of it's based around the internet, but we actually wouldn't sell through the internet because a lot of the time we will go to events, we will have a lot of social media presence, and we will actually market it very visibly at the events. So people will come to us, they will find out who we are. I mean, a lot of them know who I am already. Yeah. And that's how they would find out about the business.
A real quick follow-up question on that. I know you said you wanted 20,000 to create the product, but I guess there's a big budget required to be at events, which of course are quite costly. Has that been factored in?
There actually isn't that much in terms of pricing for when we're at events. A lot of the time it's a lot of the event organisers, because it's quite a small sport, the event organisers will suggest that maybe you provide some of the winnings or a product or so, whether it's branded equipment as prizes.
I would support Emma by saying be careful about financing, in the sense that product development takes a lot of money, and I think your financing ideas need expanding. And secondly, I worried about intellectual property, and I felt that even if you invented these wonderful new things, if you don't attend to intellectual property protection, the big guys out there, and there are lots of them, could steal it from you quite easily.
Hang on, let Andrew reply.
At the moment, we've got our patent is pending in Britain, and we're actually working with a company, Gripple in Sheffield, who are helping me through that process. So when it comes to the time of signing up for international patents, that is something that they will look at with me.
Okay, David, then Doug.
Yeah, I just get on the first one. I can't see why you wouldn't want to sell on the internet. I mean, that's the way I thought the majority of canoeists would be doing it. But the first point is that you want 20,000 to actually get this prototype up and running. You actually haven't got a prototype at the moment. But my experience was it actually will not be sufficient to do it. You'll need more capital. It's invariably need to actually get things off the ground. But what happens if this prototype doesn't work first time round?
Okay, so that £20,000, because it's composites and we're looking mostly at fiberglass for actually making the prototypes, so we're keeping costs down quite considerably. The actual boats in the end will be made of the likes of carbon fibre and aramid. So in terms of product development, we can keep it quite low. The designs are currently on CAD software, and I'm working with specialists in composites in order to bring that about, and that's going to cost roughly £8,000 for the one boat. We're then looking at paddles and a second boat. So it's not far off £20,000 in developing 3 of our range.
Doug.
Well, I think you have 2 challenges. The first is proving that your boat will in fact be superior, because currently you have a CAD model and we can only take testing so far on a computer, especially in boat dynamics, which are simply too complex to model. You have to get it on the water.
Yeah.
So that's your first risk. And your second is the risk that you simply have too small a market for someone to want to invest. And that's a risk. It's not necessarily the case. But by your own numbers, you're talking about the sale of 90 units, some of which are accessories in the first year. That's a very modest quantity. The fact is, it's possible the right amount, but you also have a certain capacity in this market. And it's just not clear to me that being so exclusively focused, perhaps appropriately, but so exclusively focused on such a high-end market that you're going to have enough capacity given this sport. And the fact that we're talking carbon, I mean, all the other ramifications of having a truly composite challenge boat, this could be a very awkward outcome, because it could be very expensive, very narrow, and very, very niche. I'd have to see those numbers somehow play out to make sure there's enough money in it to play.
Maybe I've not made the entire market particularly clear. When I mentioned the 2000, that is purely slalom as a discipline. In terms of freestyle, creeking and polo, they're actually much larger parts of canoeing in general. So we're actually talking about more like 20,000 people in the broadest of what we will offer.
But we're talking about carbon fiber products,
Yeah.
which are the most expensive and most difficult type of material, as you know, to render and manufacture.
Yeah.
And therefore it's going to be an extremely expensive product at the outcome. Therefore you will capture the tip of the market, not the whole market. That would be my assumption. Correct me if I'm wrong.
In terms of the slalom range, as an example, we've got very different levels of production, of specification. So at the lower end for sort of training boats, we've got dialing, which is a synthetic fabric, polyester fabric. And then we've got aramid, which is bulletproof vest type material, which is looking at the next level up, kind of the middle of the road training boat. And then when we're talking about carbon fibre, the vast majority of that will be the elite athletes. So a lot of the younger people won't actually go for a carbon fibre boat, they'll go for a lower specification.
Okay.
Andrew, thank you very much indeed.
Thank you very much.